Hello everyone. Do you know what this thing is? Yes, this is a candle. This candle may be small, but this will give us light when we are in the dark. The title of our story for today is The House That Glowed. One cold night during Christmas Eve, there was a boy whose name was Johann. He was forced to be out of their house because of his very bad and angry stepfather. He felt so cold that night because he was just outside looking for some shelter, and he was just wearing these things. This jacket of him was made with very thin cloth. This cup of him is an old-fashioned cup with a hole in it, and these shoes that he is wearing has was already torn. Look how poor that child is. But he walked and walked to find some shelter, to find something to eat, and even hot to drink. So, as he was walking, he saw below the valley there was a little village where there are big houses. There are also bright lights. And there's hope inside him. Oh, maybe those houses, or maybe just one person living in those houses can help me to give me shelter or food to eat and hot to drink to ease the coldness of this night. So he walked going to that place, and as he reached there, he went to the first house. Then he tiptoed and reached for the doorbell. And then, when he pushed the doorbell, the noise was heard inside. Then the oak door was opened by a big man, and that big man asked him, "Did you ring the bell?" And Johann answered stammered, "Yes, sir. I'm cold. I'm hungry. I wish you could." But before he finished his words, the old man answered, "We are so busy. We are celebrating Christmas Eve. We have so many visitors inside, and we don't want to be bothered by someone like you. Sorry, good night." And the door was shut, and Johann was so disappointed. Oh, I never thought someone could do that. But he thought to himself, maybe they are just too busy. They have so many visitors inside. I'll just try somewhere else. As he was passing the other houses, he was just too fearful that maybe those houses would also turn him down, like the first door that he went. So, despite the thought, he still tried to the other door. He knocked, but no one answered. He knocked again, much louder this time. And then there was someone who answered him. "What can we do for you?" But answered Johann. I hope if you could just..." But before again he could finish his words, that man answered, "Oh, we are so busy. We can't just stop our party tonight just for you. Sorry, good night." And then again the door was shut. He passed other houses until he just received, "Go home," and "Go home." And the other houses also replied to him, "Just come back another day. Maybe we could help you that time." But that moment, Johann really needed some help. Johann wanted someone to give him shelter, a food to eat, and a hot to drink. But no one gave it to him. He was so tired. He was so hungry and so cold that moment he felt like he was dying under that very cold night. He was just so disappointed of those people that he passed that he thought could give him anything because that houses were so big, and he was hoping that anyone could give him shelter or food to eat. But no one. He walked and walked, even though he felt so weak and so numb because of the coldness of the night. He just continued walking and walking until he saw a very old cottage, a very small house located in the dark side of that village. He then thought, "Oh, this house, this house is so small compared to those big houses. They didn't even give me anything. It looks like the people in this house are so poor like me. This house is also dark. There's no light. And maybe this cannot give me anything. The people here needs also something." But despite the thought, he just said to himself, "Maybe I just try." Then he went to that house. As he reached there, that boy gently knocked on the door. And then there was an old woman who opened the door and was so shocked to see him in that very cold night outside. She told him, "What are you doing late this night?" And then she also asked, and she also said, "You look so hungry, tired. You look so pity and so poor." Then she opened the door and bring him inside. She took care of Johann. She changed his clothes. She gave him hot to drink. Then Johann was so happy. He was so happy that someone helped him, despite the hopelessness that he felt because of those big houses that he went. Then that old woman took care of him and even cooked some food for him. As Johann was sitting there, he observed the house, and he found that the house was so plain. There is no furniture. There is only one table and chairs. So, as he was looking around the house, the old woman who was cooking for his food noticed that the only light that she has was through a candle, and that light glowed in her house. But then she thought to herself, "Maybe I was just dreaming, or maybe my eyes are betraying me." So she didn't bother with what she saw. So she continued cooking, and after she finished cooking, she gave it to Johann. She gave the food to Johann so that he can partake it because he looked so hungry. And that moment, the old woman was not just the only one who noticed that light in her house, but the villagers and other people, especially those rich people whom Johann passed by asking for help. They shouted, "Oh, that widow Greatheart's house was on fire!" So the news spread out in that village, and they ran to the house of that widow woman. And when they reached there, they knocked on the door, and the old woman came out, asked, "What are you doing here?" Then they answered, "Didn't you notice that your house was on fire?" The old woman answered, "No, I didn't notice that my house was on fire, but I've heard a voice saying, 'If what you've done to the least, you have done also unto me.'" There was a song that's entitled, "This Little Light of Mine, I'm Going to Let It Shine." This little light of mine, the lyrics goes. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Don't let Satan blow it out. I'm going to let it shine. There's also a text in the Bible that says, You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. It is found in Matthew 5 verse 14. May this story will give us some lesson today. Thank you for listening and God bless.